So, as the power tour nears, we've still got a lot of work to do on the car. We've got most of the stuff on the outside. But let me show you what we're going to do on the inside, because we're going to have a lot of fun with this car. This car is going to be a party favor. I'm going to put a few things together. Things I have time for. I'm going to show you what I want to do, and I'm going to show you things that I'm going to have to do. But let's get started. All right. Keys in. Focus. And she's dead. So, as with most things, I have a lot of aspirations and big plans. But, that being said, doesn't explain why I'm here on a Saturday night in my back room when I could be out doing a dozen other things. I've been testing some things out. It's dark out right now. But I've been gathering a lot of things for the last few weeks. Like, for instance, I was at the junkyard. Found one of these and got a strobe. This actually does work, because I didn't realize about a year ago I found a strobe box. I wasn't sure if I'd use it or not, but I just plugged it in and the thing works. Now, I tried making a recording of it to show you it flashing, but apparently my phone hates it, and I don't want to give anybody a seizure because I got a little nauseous looking at it myself. But the strobes do work, and I've got 3 more strobes on the car outside and all the hookups in the trunk. This is a party favor. This will be really easy to hook up, but we'll just have to see if we have time for things of this nature. So, let me get this all cleaned up, because if we're going to do that, I still have to hook up one of these boxes and run all the wires and whatnot. True, there is a box in all the wires are run in the car, but they're in a harness and I don't know which one goes to what. So let's get on to the next thing and get out of this back room, and I'll show you tonight all the stuff, and I'll show you tomorrow how it's all going to go in the car. Now, like I said, there's some things that are going to happen and things that I want to happen. The strobe box are things that I want to happen, but let's get to the things that I have to happen. I've been looking for one of these for a while, like you just saw, but I need to replace this on the car anyways, and I have a new headlight housing that's clear. I got at the junkyard, so these 2 things are going to have to be replaced, and like I said, I'll mount this in the trunk, but we'll see. All this stuff back here, you can tell I live by myself because, well, no self-respecting woman would have this in her living room. But this right here is the Garmin from the video. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the car, because a standalone GPS will be nice to have. That way, if I need the phone or something, and I can load up all the racetracks in this, and they'll be ready to go, or I can load up all the other stuff. Now, from what I understand, there is a route for power tours, so that'll be all right, and we got a route. We probably won't need a GPS, but it'll be nice to have, so I'll have that. I am going to put a CB in the car. I'm not too sure which one I'm going to use. I have an entire stack of them over here, and I don't see the one I want to use. Well, I kind of like to use the one that's in the truck right now, but it's in the truck right now. So let me see if I can find it. Well, I don't know where it's at, but I did find a speaker, and that'll probably go with me. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is just mounting in one of these old Cobra 29s. This will work just fine. I've got a handful of them, and I've got some 25s that are smaller. I don't need anything that's really earth-shatteringly big. Let's put this with the other stuff. But I'm also going to have to put in an antenna. So I got something pretty neat for that. And I think I may have showed you guys it already, but it's over here in this pile by the front door. Over here in this pile, we'll talk about this console here in a minute, is all the antenna stuff. First, well, this is an antenna, but we're going to need this. This is so I can hook up multiple plugins. So I got 18 feet, and that should be enough. I've got the new antenna right here, which is black, and I've got this gumdrop stud is what it's called, and it'll go right through the hole that's already in the trunk. And this right here is just a nice short black antenna. It says it's 30 inches tall, and this will do the trick. This is all I need, and it will plug into the top of this gumdrop stud right here and be fine. Let's put this stuff back here. All of this stuff's going to be gone here soon, thankfully. But here's the consoles. I've gotten a hold of several consoles over the last year and a half, and it seems like everything is kind of missing something. Well, that Crown Vic at the junkyard that I stole, or I didn't steal, that I got all the parts out of, the console was fairly complete. I went on in love with it, but I liked it. And I'm thinking I can put a few of these things together and make me one that I'm really happy with. So this is the base from the one out of the junk car I got in the junkyard the other day. It looks a lot different because I took it to the car wash and hosed it out. There was dog hair and human slime all over it, and it was absolutely disgusting. I was not bringing it in the house. This is the one that was in the car when I bought it. I've put new hardware in it, and I've kind of got it kind of. I'm leaning towards this one, but this one might work. I'm not sure yet. Don't get excited. I haven't figured out what to do about the gun rack yet, but I doubt that's coming on the trip with me. But these are the accessories right here. There's an armrest, cup holders. This is the top and this is the bottom. This mounts in and this mounts to this, so you can make it higher or low. And I can put these on either one of these two consoles. Now, the cup holders are going definitely. But what about the other stuff? I'm going to have to mount the CB radio to that and anything else. And I would love to mount it inside the box. But I do not have the proper mounting hardware. And sometimes finding that stuff is a lot harder than finding just the actual console itself. Because it seems like every manufacturer has their own little shtick. Nothing's uniform across the board. So it makes it kind of hard. But the base is going in it. I'm probably just going to put the one I took out of the Crown Vic in the junkyard in. Because that seems like the easiest one to use. And everything I have is for that. So I will mount that up. And then we'll just have to go from there. But the CB, I can get a bracket for that and mount the CB on it. And then I can actually get a bracket where I can stack things if I really have to. I can make a vertical stack rather than having it all contained in a box. But we'll just have to cross that bridge when I get to it. So, yeah. So that'll be kind of neat. Now, I do have this little scanner, and I thought it'd be fun to bring with me. This actually does get police bands. It works off a plug-in or a batteries, but I get a universal plug for this where I can plug this into a cigarette lighter. I probably have one somewhere, but I don't really feel like looking for it. And they're actually pretty cheap. This is only just a few volts here. Well, let's check. It's right here. 6 volts. So I mean, I can quite literally buy a universal adapter where it plugs into a cigarette lighter, and it'll be fine. And I can get batteries for it too. But this right here, I've got a manual to it, and it actually does really well. So it'll be fun to have. Now, the floor in the car is torn underneath that floor mat deal, and I've got some black flex tape. I'm actually kind of interested to see how well this does. It says 4-inch wide, so it actually one strip should cover all of it. But I'll have to go over that. We're going to have to drop it. We're going to have to go and clean it up with soap and get all the grease and contaminants out of this. and see how well it lays down, because I really would like it to lay down flat and smooth, because I really don't want to buy an entire new rubber floor for it. So that right there so far is what's going to go in the car. So now I guess in the morning, or when I get to it, we're going to have to go outside, and I'm going to show you how all this is going to mount up. Let's see, what do I got here? Oh, there's the... I printed out a guide for the Bearcat here. So that'll work. I print out guides for all sorts of stuff. I got upfitter guides and all sorts of ways how to do other things. I really wanted to be an entrepreneur when I was younger and learn how to do things and build, but to everybody else, I was just a weird guy that lived down the street. So, let's get off. One of the reasons I'm unsure about the gun rack, putting it in, it's not that it couldn't go in fairly easily. I could figure out how to get it in. That's not a problem. Part of the problem is and I may run into this in Tennessee, is that multicolored ex-police cars are, in some places, the cops don't like them. Now, if I got them striped up with Power Tour stickers and stuff like that, it's not going to be so bad of a thing, especially being out of state. They should pretty much leave me alone. The problem is that the more cop stuff you have in there, the closer they tend to look at you. You know, if you're just some dude along with a group and all that, chances are they're going to leave you alone. But if you're sitting here running around and you've got gun racks in there and stuff like that, I mean, if it goes in there, I'll put something funny in there, like a fishing pole or something completely harmless. It's just going to be stupid and something to have fun with. But at the same time, things like this you have to act with discretion. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to put it in or not, but there will definitely not be a gun in it because, well, certain places you go, your journey might end. So we're out here to have fun, not to make any kind of statement. So that's just food for thought. So it's the next day. I'm running around trying to get a few things for the car. I can start putting things together here soon, but disassembly comes first. So let me get back to the house. I had to run to one of the last Radio Shacks left, and he's downsizing, which makes me sad because when they start downsizing like he's downsizing, that tells me that it's getting nearer to the end, which is too bad because these guys are a couple of old school ham radio guys and good guys, but I digress. So I got some interesting stuff that's going to help with all the installation of stuff in the car. So let's get back to the house and we'll be good to go. So made it back to the house. Let me show you what I picked up. This is going to make things a whole lot easier. I found a roll of insulated wire, and it's got about 8 different strands in it, positives and negatives. It's 18 gauge, made and designed for stereos, but it's all insulated. It's speaker cable is what it says, but this will work. So here in the trunk, I've got to run cable basically from here through the seat, underneath the carpet, under the back seats here. And I don't know if I'm gonna get rid of this. Well, there's a hole right here, so I might just bring it up through here back. Either that or I'll have to loop it out this way. That will all depend on the power demands. I also bought some 12-volt sockets that don't have anything on them. They're just blank, so I can hook them up to anything, because I'm going to run this through just the regular cigarette lighters, just because hardwiring stuff makes it a little difficult, and will be just easier to get it out. It's just more user-friendly that way for the time being. If I have trouble with that, well, then we'll hardwire it and run in some inline fuses. But let's get this thing, I got to get this thing opened up and aired out, and I'll show you the rest of it. This console right here turned out to be more of a disappointment than I would have liked to admit it. It did what it was supposed to, but it was flimsy and it started cracking and never really felt right, especially with this. I mean, while this was almost useless, It made it really hard to use as an armrest, which is why this ended up getting cracked, because I used it as an armrest. For a console, it barely makes a good cup holder, but it makes a worse armrest, so this is gone. One of the other things that I want to do is replace this lens here and this headlight. This headlight's never fit right. They were off. They were parts, because this was busted when I bought the car, and that was too. I actually have a pair inside that are all strobed up that will plug right in, because the whole car's got strobes except for that corner, because I couldn't find one. And I got a brand new clear headlight I got at the junkyard the other day. So I keep talking about the strobes. If you saw the, at the beginning of the video, all this stuff's still hooked up. They just disconnected it and left all this stuff here, took the box. But I have a box, so it'll be fun for that. But that will come later when we get the more important stuff done. Now, the one problem that I'm going to have on the inside is this bolt right here is broken. So this holds the front of the console down, and yeah, I'm going to have to fix that. So I have to take this seat out anyways. So when we get the seat out, we'll just drill it out, and hopefully we can tap it and save the threads. But if not, a nut and a bolt will work fine. And I'm going to have to go to the hardware store anyways here soon. So, but that, and we got a tear in the floor. This tear was in the floor when I bought the car, so I'm going to get it really hot and scrub it out real good. Lay this stuff down like this. And I have some 4-inch wide flex tape that once I get it all scrubbed and cleaned and all the dirt out of it, even this part, I'll just hold it down like that and just start laying the flex tape down over it, and it should be fine. Might put a little bit right here where this is rubbed through, so I can tell that's some, yep. So yeah. On the outside, this hole right here is right here. So I may have to open this up a little bit, but that's where I plan on running the CB antenna through it. It's the right size, so hopefully I don't have to open the bottom side up much bigger than that. But what's cool, there was some kind of rack here at one time, and I imagine it probably was a gun rack. So that right there is what has to happen on the inside of the car. Not a whole lot, but it's time consuming. So the first thing I'm going to do is, before I get started, is I'm going to actually just go up and get the whole thing washed and get it all cleaned up and vacuumed out, and then we'll see what I'm dealing with, because I got to clean out the trunk too. If you saw, neighbor cut down a tree, and that stuff got everywhere. So I know this seems like a fairly non-productive video, and in a way it kind of is, but at the same time, if I put this with the next video, it's going to be 45-50 minutes long, and I don't think anybody really wants to sit there and watch me muddle through chaos like that. I don't know if I could make it that interesting. Anyhow, so that's going to be it for this video. The next one, we're tearing the car apart. And so, hey, so I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next video.